Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here, Cirrus over there. I apparently am echoey as fuck today because I'm in a new location and the acoustic panels aren't up yet.
No, you're supposed to tell everybody that you're in a hidden bunker and you're trying to keep away from the insert whatever villain you want it to be here.
Okay.
The Hovens!
My neighbors. Did you take a peek at that video that I sent you of the setup that I'm using tonight?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I actually legitimately considered streaming on my laptop amongst a pile of boxes right next to where the modem is, instead of that crazy run of cables that I have coming over here.
Thank you for the hydrate stuff.
Yeah, clueless expert says I'm in an undisclosed location hiding from Trump's Canada invasion. As if. That is not going to happen. That is just that's the same as Trump's wall. He's probably going to like issue a tariff of some kind, and it's going to kind of peter out and fizzle out or whatever, and he'll say, yeah, I basically invaded Canada with that tariff.
Yep, and then people are going to use that as evidence in the future of, oh, well, Trump didn't really do the things that he said he was going to do. And it's like, look, if the dude is a known liar, we are going to take that. But if a known liar aims a gun at you, you still expect that the gun is loaded.
I'm not going to assume it's not loaded just because he lies.
Exactly.
You should use the blue screen or the green screen to make it show off your new location. Yeah, okay, well, the wall behind me is a uniform enough color that I could probably do that, but then I put on a sweater that matches it accidentally, so whoopsies. Yeah, no, I'm in a new house. This is your first peek at the new studio. Ain't it impressive? It's great.
Yay.
This isn't even the new studio. This is the new temporary studio.
Yeah, it is the area where he's shoved a desk at a wall and thrown his computers on the ground.
Yeah. If I move my feet in slightly the wrong direction, the stream could go down. Because that's how my cables are at the moment. And yeah, so y'all were asking about the technical difficulties for tonight. Oh, fuck, hats. The hats are in a box somewhere. I'm sorry.
Well, no hats today.
If one of my mods could turn that one off.
I guess you could say hats off to
Fine
you.
Z hats. Yeah, you could. I think I see there might be one sticking out of this box. Okay.
Alpha Mario, thank you for resubscribing.
I can do a hat tonight. I can do a hat. I got you stuff.
Gideon Wells, thank you for giving out a community sub as well. I appreciate it. And Lunar Muse and Fennec, thank you both for subscribing as well as Trash Romancer. Fuck. Okay, well.
Nefarious Name of Doom says put a box on your head. Yeah, no, they've all got stuff in them still because we're bad at unpacking.
Yeah, but if you put the box on your head, then it's a noted improvement.
Yeah. I mean,
kidding.
I have been told that I look like Matt Walsh, so yeah. Artemis says, you moved? Yes, I moved. Moved away from neighbors who like to bully my children.
No. Merrick Band says, I don't know. I like echoey Rhino.
Yeah, well, is this more or less echoey than when I was literally in the bathtub?
It's about the same.
Okay.
It's about the same. Oh,
which that actually speaks volumes to how terrible this room is because I was using a shit mic for that, whereas this is a good mic.
Speaking of echoey audio, so I had a friend of mine who came over recently, and we were calling on Discord, trying to get plans set up and everything, figure all that shit out. And as soon as we got on Discord, the first thought I had was, Jesus Christ, your audio quality is horrible. And so he's sitting here trying to fix everything. It's using AirPods, and AirPods are also horrible. But he's sitting there trying to fix everything, and he's like, damn, everybody I talk to says they sound fine, though. And I just had to take a moment to go, wait, hold on. Does your audio sound awful, or am I listening for content creator audio?
Yeah, that's happened to me. My partner is doing her school has been remote, And so there have been a few times where she's had to like set up stuff and record things or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, we can set up the Go XLR and we can run a loopback thing in software so that you can record the audio at the highest quality from Zoom or whatever. Because and then it turned out like, no, I just need to like put my phone on a tripod and hit record, and then whatever it gets is good enough. I'm like, okay, then why are you asking me for help? I'm the YouTuber guy. Anyway. Technical difficulties. So this is where my brain has been today. So I moved on Monday. Yesterday was first full day in the house. And so this is only really my second day in the house. Mm-hmm. As I was setting up that light there, this light, I spent a good 3 minutes screwing the 1/4-inch tripod stand thingamajiggy into the power jack, wondering why the fuck it's not going in. Because the barrel jack on the power for this light is about the size of a 1/4-inch threaded insert. And so I was just like screwing it onto the power jack, going like, why the fuck is this not going in? And then eventually I was like, why? Wait, there's like a little pokey thing in the middle of this threaded insert. What? That's not. Oh, that's the power jack. Okay. And then I found where you actually screw it on, and I was done in 30 seconds. So
look, we all get used to our setups as we've had them built, and then whenever we have to do any kind of changing to them, there's like that moment of panic of shit, what does this do? Shit, what does that do? Shit, what is that supposed to do? It just kind of melds into the back of your brain.
So most of my stuff was actually pretty plug and play. Yeah, like all my network just worked out of the box when I set it up here. And that includes the guy from Bell had to give me a new modem, despite the fact that my modem is fine. She's like, nope, gotta set up the new one. Like, okay, can you take the old one? Nope. What do I do with it? I don't know. Maybe they'll send you a box and you send it back in the box. Okay.
Maybe.
Damn, spent about 3 minutes trying to screw the wrong hole. That is basically the story that I told, yes. And then I was done in 30 seconds when I found the right one.
Is it the wrong hole?
Ain't it always the way?
Is it the wrong hole if it worked?
As long as it didn't work. That was the problem. And if I know better than to try lube with my electronics.
You could use mineral oil.
You can, but I'd rather not.
Oh, that's you problem.
I did have a dream of building a mineral oil PC at one point in my life. Knowing what I know now about how good I am at maintaining special interest habits like that, it's very good that I did not. But I still think that would have been fun. Anyway, YouTube chat, be on the lookout for Progress Only when they come back. We have some announcements regarding Progress Only.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But I don't want to blow that load without them in the chat.
Good.
They did say they were coming. They were just going to be late.
They're coming?
They're coming, so I can
go. Good.
It starts with sorry.
Oh. That was supposed to be Tucker Carlson doing the "You've been a bad girl."
Instead, it starts with sorry.
Yeah, no, that's the Go XLR is the thing that's not plug and play. I'm so used to things just saving as you go that the fact that you have like every time you change something about your profile, you have to hit save. I never do that, and so I haven't saved it in months, and so I have old ones.
What are we even talking about?
Okay, Progress Only is in the chat. Progress Only was sworn in the other day.
Hell yeah.
And they've already passed the first resolution or something, or whatever it is they passed. They passed a thing that is going to provide like warm space for unhoused people to come in and warm up at night and provide other resources for them. So it's like immediately sworn in, doing good stuff. Awesome work.
Good shit.
Congratulations and keep up the good work. Love it.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil something from the video the essay I'm working on. I've got two chapters.
You've done this on every stream since you started working on it.
Yes, I have, because I need to let this out somewhere. Damn it. The good news is that I've been recording a chapter every day now, and I'm almost, as far as I'm concerned, I'm almost done, because once everything's recorded and sent over to Cherry, I sit back and I just wait until I'm told the audio on this was bad, try it again, and otherwise I'm good to just sit back and be okay. But there is a moment where I talk about solutions to our medical crisis in the end of the video, and one of the solutions is unironically write the fucking laws yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you can write a proposition and send it into a person in Congress, that multiplies the likelihood that the thing that you are wanting to happen actually fucking happens.
Yeah, a million times. And we've seen from the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene can draft laws that anyone can do it.
If she can draft a law...
I mean, she's only done it like twice.
Still, irrespective of how likely her laws are to get passed, if she can draft a law, you can draft a law. If somebody with a reading comprehension so astronomically low that she thinks that space lasers are ripping across California and she can't read a single thing that tells her otherwise unless it's on a fucking QAnon website, you can write a fucking law.
Naramdaputs brings up a good point. She has staff, though. But, like, do you think her staff is any more literate than she is?
I did not need to know that she had that. That should be between her and her doctor.
I mean, given the new House rules, she might not... Like, yeah, if depending on the nature of that staff. Whatever.
So, she has staff, and you have two tools.
We were thinking of different kinds of staff.
Yeah, I was thinking... I was thinking of an infection.
I was like... This is a joke about something that turned really sad really fast, so I'm just ending it. Like, nope, staph infection. Okay, I could go with that.
Yeah, it's staph infection.
Okay.
But, you know, it's kind of weird to have a staph infection on a tumor, but here we are. She's an infection in Congress, and she has an... Anyway. Joke's getting far too layered for my taste, and it's the equivalent of a fart joke at the end of the day. But you have two tools available to you that you can use. One, every single bill that's ever been drafted is available for public viewing. That you just go to your congress.gov website, or for me, it's like congress.ga.gov. You can look in there and you can see every bill that's been drafted in the last ever. And you can look at the language and parlance of those bills. And if you feel like you are not good enough to write one of those bills, fun challenge. Look at the parlance of one of those bills and then generate one of those bills with AI. Look at how that bill is written in AI and go, huh, that looks really stupid. I could do better. And trust me, you can.
Do it with Grok AI, though, just so you can cost Elon some money.
Fair.
Because none of the AIs are making any money at this point. Like, did you see OpenAI is like... They've got a $200 a month tier, and they're saying that that's losing the money because people are using it too much. So they're looking at like having an even more expensive tier.
Yeah, problem is
like,
all of those, every single tech industry thing in the last 20 years has been that way, though. They all operate at a loss until they can try to monopolize an area.
Yeah. Well, the problem is everybody's got their own AI thing now, and they all suck. So... yeah, you can monopolize the suck all you want. Like, literally the only useful thing I have ever used ChatGPT for was writing auto hotkey scripts, and about half the time, actually more than half the time, the script did not work until I had to debug it a little bit. So, like, it's like, it would write a base for me if I didn't have any idea of how to go about doing something. And then it'd be like, okay, well, I can tweak these last few things that it doesn't fucking know what it's doing in order to actually make it work. And that's the only useful thing that AI has ever done in my life. Oh, I lie. I use it to generate just kind of nothing backgrounds for my thumbnails when I did my own thumbnails. And that is like, that's not something that I require AI for. I'm just lazy.
Fair.
Like, if you look at my... what are you doing with your model? Why are you...
I don't know.
You're leaving your frame.
So I had a game open and I just exited the game, and apparently entering and exiting the game changed my monitor resolution.
Yeah, it does that sometimes.
That's what happens when a game's 20 years old, I guess. Let me get back in frame. Oh, that's why it went back in frame. It put me in 4x3. That's why it fucked up. Because the game's old and in 4x3.
My favorite are the ones that don't know what to do with dual monitor setups. So like you got the game full screen on your main monitor, but then your second monitor is like got half of your main monitor's background on it.
This game does that. Command and Conquer General 0 Hour does that. Its maximum resolution caps out at like 1400 something, which is under 720p.
So Neuromptipus says, see, experienced programmers already know what they want to code and just look up the API for the function name. Don't fact check that. Yeah, so fun. The Pirate Software recently put out a short that I felt like it was a personal attack on me, because he was like, oh, well, people say they use AI for their code. Well, here's what I usually find is the case with that. If you do it yourself, you spend 1 hour writing code and 1 hour debugging that code. And if you get the AI to write the code, you spend 1 minute writing code and 3 hours debugging code. And somehow these people are still telling me it's a good idea. I'm like, okay, maybe if you're writing real things, that's how it works. But it's fine for my auto hotkey scripts. It's like for me, I'd have to spend 3 hours learning how to do the thing, to which Pirate Software, being the proponent of education that he is, would be like, good, you learned a thing. Whereas me, I'm just like, but I don't want to know that thing. I just want that thing to happen.
Yeah, that's where I am on most things. So once upon a time when I was, in high school, any skill I could possibly learn that helped me do a task would be fantastic. Not just because I could actually retain those skills back then. I have a much harder time retaining them after I learned them now.
Yeah.
But a huge problem that I ran into now is that I'll learn a skill to the point where it solves the problem for me, and then it'll promptly get memory hold.
Mm-hmm.
After I'm done. Also, Ralton, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it.
So people in chat are mentioning it, so I should probably bring it up. This is not one of our news items tonight, but Justin Trudeau resigned.
I saw that. I have no context for it.
Neither do I. As far as I can tell, it was just like infighting amongst the Liberal Party. Like there was no scandal. There was no... he did something horribly, horribly wrong and is now resigning because of it. It was just like politicking. So it was like, okay. Justin Trudeau resigned. On the day that I moved, which happened to be January 6th. So many things happening on January 6th.
I have no actual opinion on Justin Trudeau other than that, like, the right wing hates him, and I'm told that liberals are supposed to hate him as well for things.
So the way I've always kind of seen him, he's a Nepo baby. He's in politics because his dad was... his father is the guy who gave us universal health care in Canada.
Okay.
So massively popular. My mother actually considered not naming me Justin when I was born, because I was born when Pierre Elliott Trudeau was prime minister and Justin was his son. And he was famous enough that like she didn't want people to think that she named me after him.
Okay.
And then she gave me the shit name anyway. So here I am. Yeah, and so I've always kind of seen it as like he's using his dad's name for his popularity. He's not been bad, but he's not been terribly good. Like, he's okay. He's done some good things. Arguably, though, the good things that he has accomplished are because he's got in Canada, we don't have this two-party system thing that you guys have. We have a parliamentary system where there are multiple parties, and if none of them can get a majority, they have to form a minority government, which means two parties have to work together. And what happens there is... there's the Liberals are basically the Canadian equivalent of the Democrats. The Conservatives are the Canadian equivalent of the Republicans. The NDP would be like if Bernie had his own party. So it's like the more socialist leaning, the more left leaning on the left. So for the last, like, since Trudeau took office in, what was it, 2015, I think? Yeah, I think it was 2015 because they were due for an election this year, and it's every 5 years in Canada. I think, I don't know. Civics class was a long time ago. I just vote when the signs show up. And yeah, and our electoral cycle is nowhere near as long as you guys's. So like they're not campaigning for an entire year. It's just like it's just like a month of campaigning, and then we vote and it's done. So it's easy to forget how often it happens. But yeah, so he's had a minority government, which means that the Liberals and the NDP have had to work together. And so the NDP at any moment could just be like, hey, we're withdrawing our support. It's election time. And so in order to maintain control, the Liberals have had to do things that the NDP want. So like he's pushed for more comprehensive prescription coverage. He's pushed for a certain amount of dental coverage. It's weird that dental's not included in medical. But it isn't. So like there are these good things that Trudeau has accomplished, but arguably the only reason he did that is because he had to appease the NDP in order to remain in power. So he's kind of a nothing burger, but a nothing burger leaning on the good side.
That's reasonable, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, from a pragmatic point of view, that means that he's at least done good, even if the reasons were not the best.
Yeah, like when I found out that he resigned and that there was no major scandal with his resignation or anything, my feelings on the matter were along the lines of, oh, okay. So like, I'm not upset that he's leaving. I'm not happy that he's leaving. He's just leaving.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, just if things look a little wonky on my end, it's because Pocket, which I use to save the websites to make them all look identical so they fit in my little thingy, it breaks the highlight function. Their own native highlight function has been broken for the last couple weeks, but it works just well enough to get in the way of any external highlighting add-ons that you use. So what I've been doing, what I did this week is I just saved the websites as a PDF. So that's why it's got the little blue ring around it, because I hovered my mouse over it. And also there's page breaks, because I looked it up on I looked it up for I'm using Acrobat, because why not? I have Adobe, and it was like, is there any way to get rid of the page breaks? And everything was like, nope, that's impossible. Like, I remember there being a PDF reader where that was an option. It was just a tick box in a menu. Show page breaks, hide page breaks. That was it. Why is it impossible to get rid of that?
Do we need Adobe to more accurately read the things that Matt Walsh says?
Well, they've got a built-in AI assistant. I could ask that.
Well, you could, but would it help read a PDF file?
Do we need you to... What was your question?
Would it help read a PDF file?
Like, what'd you say about Matt Walsh, though?
Would it help read Matt Walsh, because he's a PDF file?
Okay. It's not going to get the joke. It took me long enough.
And you didn't.
Yeah, it took me long enough. I don't think the AI is going to be quite up to the task. Yeah, Sumatra PDF should still have those page break features, Vice Rhino. Yeah, but then I'd have to install another thing. I already have this one. I use Adobe for so much shit, I may as well use their PDF reader instead of installing something else. I used to use Foxit. Okay. Next up, this one was sent to me by someone whose name I know. Where are you? Oh, okay. Never mind. It's my anonymous source. He doesn't need to be named. However, if you send me news articles at news@vicerhino.com and I decide to cover them, I promise you that Cirrus will remember your name and remind me of it when I forget. That is our guarantee on this show. Cirrus 100% will never not be able to do that.
I will always remember the name of the person via the means that I'm not able to see their name. Yes.
It'll always just be my anonymous source. He's my scapegoat. The U.S. will never admit their mistakes. Destiny, y'all. Yeah, I seem to recall there being stories when I was a kid about how kids in American schools learn that they are undefeated when it comes to war.
Yeah.
Do you actually learn that?
Yes.
Actually?
They don't actually say, like, we lost the Vietnam War.
Or the Bay of Pigs?
We hear that we came home.
Or the War of 1812?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple others. I know Afghanistan now goes on the list. Wow.
Yeah, they don't mention that America loses. We are just a big superpower that always wins.
Yeah, my favorite is hearing the people try and justify the states having won the War of 1812. There's like, okay, in the War of 1812, there were two goals. The states wanted to take over part or all of Canada. Canada wanted that to not happen. That did not happen. Oh, Artemis, 1812 was a draw? No, 1812 was not a draw. We were not trying to take over any American territory. We just wanted y'all to leave us alone. And at the end of it, y'all left us alone. So we won. That's us. We burnt down the White House, motherfucker.
Yep.
Also, you burned down the White House, which was hilarious. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're on the same wavelength.
God, we all love talking about burning down the White House.
We do love talking about historically having burnt down the White House, don't we?
Yep, historically it happened.
It's just a thing that we can talk about as having happened. I don't know how true this is, but one of the things that I heard is that it wasn't actually called the White House until we burnt it down, and then when they rebuilt it, some of the charred wood was still there, so they painted it white in order to hide that, and that's why it's called the White House. I don't know how true that is. I feel like that's Canadian propaganda.
That feels very... and then someone said it type of thing. Like, that feels very pulled out of the ass for a story.
I agree. I do not trust that is accurate, but I like to believe it in my heart. That does sound like folk history. Yeah, I know. Shut up. It's true to me. It's my truth. You wouldn't attract my truth, would you?
Yes.
Yeah, but slight tangent, but even peaceful religions become not peaceful religions when they have power. Because just look at the genocide that's been going on in Myanmar since I think it's 2014. Well, 2014 is when it was escalated to the level where it was recognized as genocide. But the Rohingya Muslims have been oppressed there since the 60s, and they're Buddhists. Buddhist monks committing genocide. That's not a thing that we in North America.
That's not a thing that you would consider them doing.
Yeah, no, Buddhism is normally seen as one of the good religions. That's just, it's peaceful and it promotes meditation and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, but give them political power, and this is what happens. Because the religion is the supremely important thing.
I can understand a little bit why there are some people who think nobody should have political power whatsoever. It becomes more apparent to me every day that while I disagree with the stance, I understand where it's coming from.
That's kind of what the American experiment was supposed to be. It was supposed to be it's a representative republic where nobody has no one person has too much power. The president was not always the most powerful figure in the government like he is today. When it was first set up,
the American experiment failed horribly because we've consolidated that power.
It did, and also the originalists, if they actually read if they actually were originalists, they would not hold the positions that they hold. Because I don't put any stock in originalism. I don't for the most part, I don't fucking care what a bunch of dead guys from 300 years ago thought with regards to like how we should run the country today. But it, like, of the ideas that I think are actually good, like some of the stuff is like the reason they chose the title president for the leader of the country was because at the time in their culture, president was actually kind of a lowly title. The president is subservient to the board of directors or what, like whatever other, like whatever organizations were around then. The president was like basically their little bitch boy who has to do what they say. And so they chose president specifically so that it would be not a desirable office to attain, because that's not a prestigious title. It became a prestigious title. Like they were looking at like England with its prime minister. That's very clearly denoting the most important person there. No, we can't have that. We have to have something more lowly than that. And so like that's an idea that I could get behind, is that like, no, the president should not be the most powerful person in the country. He should be subservient to the other branches of government. That's the whole point of having the three branches. Checks and balances or whatever the fuck. But, you know, how it works in theory and how it plays out in reality are two different things.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Tibet wasn't super peaceful before China took it over. China still sucks. Yeah, there are instances where there are bad guys on both sides. Famous example right now, the Israel-Hamas war. They both suck.
Yeah.
They both want to genocide each other, and genocide is wrong no matter who's doing it.
And when you look at the political systems for both of them, you see that there's a lot of homophobia and shit on the side of Palestine. And then when you look at Israel, there's, well, the same shit, and just not to the same degree, but a lot of fucking racism.
And again, we've said this before, but just to make it explicit again, there is a difference between Hamas and Palestine. They, like, being supportive of a free Palestine does not mean you're in favor of Hamas. So I feel like that needs to be said every time.
People have a tendency to forget. Like, Asina says, Waffle House, the one true religionist thingy. Like, look, I am very tempted to, as soon as we are done with this stream, ask Saki if she wants to hop on the scooters and go to Waffle House. The only reason that I would stop myself from doing that is, one, she wants to play Baldur's Gate, and that would be not playing Baldur's Gate. And
that's fair.
And we're playing together, so like if I'm not playing, then she's not playing, and vice versa. And two, it's fucking cold outside.
Oh, okay. What is your definition of fucking cold?
My definition of fucking cold?
Yeah, what's the temperature?
Well, let's see here. Currently, it is 27 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -3 Celsius.
So currently here, it is -9 Celsius. So that's 16 Fahrenheit?
Your wiener is bigger than mine.
Yeah. Okay, so my fucking dog, my goddamn fucking dog, adorable little pooch that she is, she just got a haircut and a bath, so she's got short hair right now.
Yeah.
But we also just moved into a house that has a fenced-in backyard, and she's never been allowed outside without a leash. Like, okay, my partner would take her outside without a leash to let her pee, like at the end of the night, every now and then. And I fucking hate it when she did that, because the dog likes to run away and she likes being chased. It's a game. So
yeah,
like,
that's how Chip is.
Yeah, every now and then she would just like not come back inside, and you'd have to go get her. And it's a game, so she's running all through the neighborhood. And I'm like, you just... And most of the time she was fine. She would come back in. But like, there was just that one... But anyway, so we moved in here, and so we're letting her out in the backyard now because it's fenced in. And and she's having a grand old time. But like she's refusing to come inside, but it is fucking freezing. She's sitting there in the snow, visibly shaking because she is so fucking cold. And we're just like standing there with the door open and be like, Puddles, come inside, please, come inside. You're cold. Come, we've got food here. We'll give you a treat. Just come inside. But she's so excited to be off the leash and outside that she's just like running around and being like, nope, nope, nope. I don't care that I'm shivering and about to die. This is a husky she is not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So she loves the new house, but we're also, because she was not fully potty trained, we've decided that here we are going to get her a coat and some boots. We have a coat. It's in a box somewhere.
Nixie Chan, thank you for resubscribing.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So she's not fully potty trained because she was originally potty trained on an 8th floor apartment, so it was done with pee pads. Because you can't just go outside when the dog has to pee when you have to wait for an elevator to get down there. Like if it's an urgent thing, there has to be somewhere to go in the apartment. And so because that was how she was initially trained, even when she got to know that she's supposed to pee outside, she would still like, if there was no one around to get their attention and say, hey, I need to go outside, she would just find something on the floor that reminded her vaguely of a pee pad and pee on that, which was actually really good for getting kids to pick their coats up off the floor. Because like, do you want the dog to pee on it? Because she pees on whatever's on the floor. So here we've decided, okay, when she's inside, she's wearing a diaper because she doesn't pee in the diapers. So we just got to make sure we let her outside frequently enough. And so she gets into the habit of like, okay, I can go outside anytime I want. So, and they put the stupid diaper on me when I'm in here. So maybe if I just pee outside and don't pee inside, it'll be fine. So, yeah. Anyway.
I hopefully will not have any issues with Growlithe with the outside with how cold it's getting, mostly because she has a super thick border collie coat. But that all gets shaved off when springtime comes around. So I'm hoping that a cold front doesn't come in after that.
Puddles is happy outside shivering her ass off with no hair. But yeah,
I can't account for your dog's mental state.
My dog is a nut job. Yeah, I'll give you that.